Right, you're going to need a colander, you're going to need a wok, you're going to need another little tub, chopping board and an assortment of knives. This looks like wok coming handy. And then there's pepper, chilli, some root ginger, a couple of cloves of garlic, and some broccoli, and there's some snap sugar peas.
Right, this is steaky. You could probably replace this with either corn mince or you could probably use just whole mushrooms, chop them down, marinate them up, same thing really.
So, tub in your sinky, give it a bit of a wash. Sitting there, a couple of days on the fork. Nice little wash. Tub that. You do affect a bit of meal at the same time. Anyway, we cut that off and then just down the middle nicely. Down the middle and then just shape, cut that bit off. You get these very more or less the same sort of size. So when you get just enough, you know that you've got roughly the same amount. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And you really want to be washing your hands again after you do touching meat, because you know, it's raw. Give that a quick wipe down, wash down. Right, look, Chinese 5 spice. Now we want a couple of these really. A couple of those in there. Soy sauce. We got 1 gone in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit extra just to make good. Right, so that works out about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, dark. And then we want some rice vinegar. Right, we got 1, 2, a little bit more there, 3.5 because I spilled a load. Right, so this rice vinegar, it's very nice. Marinated beef, which is ready. So we give that a little stir and set it aside, either for overnight or just while you're preparing the rest of the meal. Right, so 1 washed pepper, 1 washed chilli. Take the end off the chilli, push that aside, the other end off the chilli, and you scrape down the side, down the other side. If you keep your fingers on the outside of the pepper, you won't get any of the internal, well, much of the internal juice on your fingers, and then when you put your fingers near your face and they end up touching your eyes, you won't be blind and end up falling down the stairs. And you get rid of all the seeds really, and that's it, jobs are good. You push that over there, turn them over so the knife cuts into the back, and then no juice is going to squirt up and hit you in the eye. Trust me, you don't want chili juice in your eyes. That's what they put in pepper spray. Now anyway, chop those up into little tiny pieces really, because you don't want too much of that at once if you're going to be, but you want it big enough to be able to grab with a chopstick. Anyway, so that's the one side. Then the same thing with the pepper, take the bottom off, take the top off, and then literally just cut down the sides, and remove the core. So then just chop the pepper in nice long strips, and making it easy to pick up with little chopsticks. Right, this is root ginger, and you basically just want to skin that. To be honest, I think I've probably picked maybe a little bit too much there. But all you do with it is just take it into slices, and then give your slices, pile your slices up again, slice again, and chop that down into little blocks. Goes in there with your pepper. Right, you want a couple of garlic cloves, and you literally just take the ends off of them and peel the skin away. Yep, just peel the skin away. And same again with the ginger, as with the ginger even, and you literally just chop it down into slices and just chop it into little chunks really, being careful not to take the end of your finger off. Right, ginger, take the stalks off with your broccoli, and you want probably as much of the stalk as possible. For why I will show you in a moment. And you grab your stalk, slice down 1, down 2, probably enough for that one. Like this here, you want to just down through the stalks, nice angles, so not too big. So again, just slice it down, try and curve out towards the outside so you get a few sections. Little pieces like that you can throw in whole and give a good rinse. Right, you want about half of these. What I'll do is I'll grab sort of 5 or 6 in line, and very carefully with the knife, place the knife in the back there, just press down, pull through. and you end up with this nice little straight, nice easy slots. We want a little drop of this stir fry oil because it just gives it a nice tang, and I mean just a little drop. And then you want a little olive oil, and I mean just a little drop. Just a little drop in there, right? And the magic is you get some water, right, and heat that up. You'll also need one of these because I forgot to mention it earlier, but it's like just basically for holding. Right, cool. This is now nice and warm, so you can turn the heat back down just really lightly. You can always check that it's warm, and just tip that in there. That's your chopped garlic, your ginger, your pepper, and your chili pepper. Yeah. You want to give this about 3 minutes tops, just to get it infusing together. Nice pairing up of substance or flavours. Get them all mixing, juicing, lovely. Like I say, you can just gently heat that, or just bring the heat up a little bit until it starts to sizzle, and take it down again. But you don't really need too much heat, to be honest, to begin with at this stage. Yeah, the trick is get your pan hot and then let it cool. Get it hot, let it cool it, and you will smell once it's starting to get ready. You will know by the smell. Right, so this is broccoli and the snap peas. You basically give that another quick rinse just to make sure they're nice and moist to aid its cooking. Also, one of these little fellas is handy. It just helps you make up a nice little sauce with all of the flavours you've got already. Just pop that and a little drop of water. This has had probably long enough, and you add the snap and the broccoli into that. Probably give that a good stir in for about another 5 minutes with another little drop of water. Get it all mixed up. Get the juices from the chilies and the garlic and the ginger and pepper and all just soaking in, so that as the water evaporates, it cooks the vegetables nicely. And just leave that for about 5 minutes. Right, so you can hear this getting quite warm, so you can take the heat down so that you don't start burning any of the veg. And you want any little stalks, just poke those down in the fluid, because really it's the stalks you've got to just make sure are really cooked to avoid any sort of awkward moments at dinner table. That is my vegetable stocky cubey thing, just breaking it down. Give it a little stir around in the water. Once the hot water hits that, it will break up a lot quicker. This has had a few moments. As you can see, it's steaming nicely, and it's looking. You can see that the broccoli looks like it's cooking. So that there is stage 1 of the veg cook. So you can now transfer that to the holding pot with the vegetable stock and turn the heat down, because you don't want that cooking away while there's no reason for it to be on. Alright, so we again now got our clean pan, and we want possibly another little drip of oil and some more water. Bring that pan down in temperature for when you take the soy sauce mix and you tip the excess soy sauce in with the vegetable, and then bring the meat into the pan. Now you don't want to cook this too fast, otherwise it'll end up like leather. So just nice and light. Just give it 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes maybe, depending on how hungry you are. I mean, you can see it starts to cook even at low heat. It really does start to cook because you cut it small pieces. You know, you get a big joint of lamb, you need hours and hours and hours to cook it in an oven. But if you cut it down, like I say, and bring your heat up slowly, because you don't want to overdo it, because it will stiffen up. Alright, okay, so the amount of time that kettle's taken to boil up 4 cups of water, you can see the meat's really changed colour and it's starting to soften up. You want to basically just give it a little press it down into the heat, and now you can add a little bit more oil if you feel you want a little bit more chili oil or stir fry oil just to give it a little bit more of a punch. Any bits that are feeling a little bit tough, just give them a little press down into the fluid. And like I say, don't cook them too hard. You want the water to be evaporating, but you don't want to cook it. You know, you don't want it fierce. As it starts to fizz up like this, you want to bring that heat back down again, otherwise it will be too quick, and you'll end up with chewy meat. Right, our veg is in the hot water, and the vegetable cube has dissolved nicely. I don't know if you can see that at the back there. So you've got this nice sauce, which is how you want that for now. Right, so I'm considering that meat to be more or less well cooked. Now I'm going to re-add the vegetable and just tip it in on top of everything, and leave that to simmer for a further 5 minutes while I get the noodles on. Right, so the water that I've boiled, actually turn that up first. Right, we want really high heat on this, as obviously because it's boiling water, and we're going to keep it that way. And you want about half a pan, and then add your big noodles. I found a good trick with these to stop them being a bit too clumpy, is just crack it down the middle into 2 halves, and that's about what you want for 2. Serves 2, and then the veg I've spread out over the top, so it's like there's lots of fluid. The meat's down in there. You bring that up so that just bubbling nice and slowly, because you know these noodles are going to take 3 or 4 minutes, and that will just ensure that you know your meat juices are cooking nicely and everything's mixing up as it should do. You will then give that later on, once your noodles, you give that a final stir. Right, so get this quite fierce and bring the temperature down again, and then your noodles, you want those boiling for 3-4 minutes quite fiercely, not too fiercely, you know, but you basically just keep them so that they're warm but they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. Again with this, it's warm, but you bring it up and it gets warmer, and you just sort of, it's a bit like queuing up a record really. You're sort of bringing the speed up and lowering it down again and bringing it up till it matches your BPM really. That's the way I look at it. Give that another quick wind now. It's had plenty of time for that meat to be cooked to a nice safe level really. As I say, I mean, if you're using mushroom or corn or something, then that time is even reduced further, you know. And yep, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not restricted to who you can invite for dinner, because everyone will eat a vegetarian meal, even if they do prefer a bit of meat here and there. We'll turn that off because it'll help you hear me. We'll turn the heat off of both pans, and we rinse the noodles with the remaining boiling water, and pretty much there. A little bit of water in the pan. Put it back on the hob. You'll hear ghosty. Now anyway, 2 plates, gently warmed, just to keep the food warm really. 2 plates nice and warm. Now you want a pair of forks, and just grab a lump of the plate really. Well, see, the more practice you get at this, the better you'll be at it. But, you know, we don't worry about this sort of thing. I could buy some tongs, couldn't we? Little drop of toasted sesame, just to flavour the noodle. Right, then you go in fishing. You get a piece of meat, some broccoli, get a piece of meat, so that's 2 there. 2 that side, just dip it out nice and even. So you sort of just evenly spread it out between the 2 plates. Some chilli, pepper, broccoli. If you just keep a rough idea, keep a rough guide of what you're doing each side, and then there shouldn't be too much. But it's stir fry, so you know, get a rough mixture. And last little bit, you just want a little tiny splash of this. Just keep plate warm. And then that's it. Done. And I hope that will be entertaining food.